Hey guys, it's Nicole and I'm back. This time I'll be coming to you with some basic Montessori inspired practical life activities for your preschoolers and kindergartners. Stay tuned. So we have wrapped up our school year and today would be our first day of summer here. And one thing that I didn't get to cover during the school year are practical life activities. And even though practical life activities are your day-to-day things that you have to do in terms of care for the environment, care for yourself, and courtesy and grace, we haven't actually had shelf work activities about them. So today and this week, and throughout the summer, especially with my two youngest ones and some touching up with my 6-year-old, we're going to do some practical life activities. So here are some of the ones we're doing today. This week, I think I'm going to focus on care of the environment. Montessori life skills or practical life are categorized usually into care of self, care of the environment, and grace and courtesy. So these are all care of the environment type activities. So here we go. So first up we have this activity, which is pretty much just 3 different size containers, as you can see, and then a pitcher of water. I got this pitcher from the Dollar Tree. You've probably seen it. It's a watering can / pitcher, and these are 3 different size containers or bowls that I just have laying around the house for them when they eat snack. So my 2-year-old, my 4-year-old, and my 6-year-old will all greatly benefit from this activity because it's fine motor and a little bit gross motor control also, because it takes a lot of your upper arm strength to pour a pitcher, especially this size if you're a 2-year-old. So what he'll do is just simply, probably with 2 hands instead of 1, pick up the pitcher, and I suggest that he'd start with the larger one. Pour a little bit of water in there, and then I'll tell him to stop. Move on to the next size. And move on to the smallest. Trying to spill as little as possible. Also, definitely keep a towel. I would suggest a hand towel on top of this tabletop or this tray when you're doing this activity. And then afterwards, they will pour it all back in. Which is great because this is a life skill that everyone needs to learn, as to how to pour without spilling. My 6-year-old does a really good job at this, but it's also just great as a refresher and also teaching him to clean up his mess. So if he does spill, like I did, just a couple of drops, I would suggest that you keep a napkin right here so that the older kids can learn how they need to clean it. They need to dry the bowls out and take it to the next step. This activity here is about cutting. This is a Melissa and Doug little sandwich making picnic kit. These are held together by Velcro. So they would actually take the little knife, mostly for my 2 and 4-year-olds, take the little knife and cut each piece apart. So it's hard for me to do this with one hand, but as you can see, they would cut each one apart until it's all each sandwich is broken down. You can take this to the next step and actually draw a little diagram of a few kinds of sandwiches you want them to make with these pieces, and then have them put the sandwiches together in the sequential order that you drew the picture in. That way you're practicing sequence. They're following instructions. It's also great for color identification for your younger ones as well, because they'd have to say, okay, that one's the green one, it's this shape this way, and that one comes next, and so forth and so on. For my 6-year-old, I'm actually just gonna have him cut an apple. He he has enough control that he can actually do that. What I would do is just simply, I'd probably start by cutting this in half so it doesn't roll all over for him, and then have him try to make slices out of the halves. And again, it's good fine motor control, and just it's a practical life activity. You need to know how to cut. Again, supervise, always supervise with an activity like this. I'm not using an actual knife, I'm using a plastic knife for him, and then he will start off, I'll cut in half, and then he will keep cutting it down. And hey, maybe they'll be able to share a snack after they're done. This activity right here is very simple. I have dollar store sand and a little measuring spoon, and I will have them transfer from one to the next without spilling. Now the next step to an activity like this would be to have him sweep it up. And I actually do have like a little hand broom that they can go back and sweep up the mess and pour everything back in when they are done. Now for my 6-year-old, the goal here is mastery, perfecting the craft, perfecting the skill. And for the littles, it'll be more just about actually getting it done. And if they make a mess, they can clean it up when they're finished. And then after they've transferred it all in, I'll have them pour everything slowly back into the original container and clean up the mess. Here's a sorting activity, because sometimes you have to sort things. For example, for laundry, when you're doing dishes, you might have to separate your forks from your knives, from your spoons, things like that. So with this activity, I have shells here, and then I have 4 shells at the top. And what they would do is place the appropriate shell underneath the shell at the top and match the shells until they are all done. Again, for sorting, you can do this with sorting socks by color. You can do this with sorting cloth napkins by color. All kinds of ways that you can just practice the life skill of basic sorting. And the last one I have for today is place setting. Very simple. Again, items I already have around the home. I have a placemat, a cup, a fork, a knife, napkins, and a plate. The plate is already placed in the center, so I will demonstrate how I want them to do it. Your family might set your table differently. There's also formal settings, but we're not really going into all that. I just want them to fold the napkin in half, place it on the opposite side, okay, and then have their fork and knife on that as well. Very basic. I'm not going into technical detail, and I just have an extra napkin just in case another one wants to practice folding at the same time. And that's it, just so they can see this is how you set the table. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video of a few practical life Montessori inspired skills that you can do with your preschoolers and toddlers and kindergartners. Montessori can go up to middle school, and I just learned that there are a lot of cool ways that you can incorporate Montessori into it with your older kids, but this is a way that everyone can enjoy learning life skills or practical life skills in a Montessori inspired way. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Until next time, bye.